I saw article like people are marrying like AI. People are like AI boyfriends and like just like craziness.
Yeah, that can't be healthy, by the way. I feel like that cannot be healthy.
What are the jobs and skills people should like retrain
Yeah.
themselves on? So I was thinking about the world of AI the other day, Speros. And a lot of people feel threatened by it. We're really nervous about it because we're hearing layoffs happening and that AI is going to take over all these jobs and whatnot. A few years ago, or maybe a couple years ago, it was nothing but talks about AI, everything's coming out all the way to like Tesla self-driving, all these different things. And nobody truly knew what the capabilities of AI is and how it works or how you work with it and all that stuff. It was just a lot more buzzword. But I feel like as of today, there's been a lot more of shifting from talking about AI to doing AI, right?
It's the beginning of Skynet.
Yeah, like we're starting to see a lot more how we live together with AI and robots, right? AI boyfriends and like just like craziness. I had to like sit down for a moment myself to think like, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm not really heavily impacted by AI. What's wrong? Well, everybody's like living with different robots and future and marrying and dating robots and AI and whatnot. It's just been crazy.
Yeah, that can't be healthy, by the way. I feel like that cannot be healthy because maybe short term it's good.
What more are we gonna see? Our electric car now is able to not only self-drive and can also drive in water for 30 minutes too.
That's
Like they're
wild.
testing that. It's crazy. Have you seen that? I want
No,
one.
I haven't. I got to see it.
To become that universe at some point, like people are, am I going to be walking around questioning who's real and who's not?
I don't know. I mean, maybe it's someday, but I know Elon Musk keeps talking about that once the robots come out, it'll be the biggest impact in the
Yeah.
world beyond the internet, beyond everything else we had in the past. The biggest change in our world will be personalized robots at your house. They just sit, they charge at the wall overnight, and then they go around and help you
Yeah.
through the day.
I know exactly what you mean. But is that going to be like the reality of life?
Yeah,
Obviously it comes down to the business world, the economy. We already have surging unemployment rates. Now more layoffs happening. Everyone is feeling like obsolete with their skills as entry-level software engineers, on top of people being replaced with AI agents and all of that. And they're not going to be they're working on, some people are working on projects that in reality is eliminating their own jobs because the AI agents and AI is taking over. And then you have to lead to like thinking, just because AI take over this batch of work or job, what is going to be needed from a human perspective? What skills and traits are we going to be needing where humans don't completely feel useless? The one thing that AI cannot replace right now are like trades, right? Plumbers,
exactly.
electricians,
Electricians,
blah blah blah, and things like that. But if you
construction.
construction, but if you think about it, in at least China, or like some videos I saw, the warehouse workers and construction, like they were stacking blocks, like cement blocks, were being done by robots too.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
gosh.
That's going to be, I think, a much more real problem than AI agents is, because AI agents, like you said, is kind of like limited to knowledge, information, that kind of thing. And then, but robots is now unlimited to physical labor. I don't know. That's kind of crazy. What is interesting to me is while using AI more and more, like we use it every day, right? I find myself when I want to learn something, I find myself just asking AI. And not only
Yeah,
that, I remember I had to do some repairs at home. I turned on the video of AI and just said, "Hey, how do I change this? This is broken." It
yeah.
literally tells me in the moment. Now I can literally just show the exact situation and say, "Hey, what do I need here?" It's like, "Oh, this must be product number, this and this and this. In this situation, this is what happens. So what I recommend you do is do this and this and this." All right, and I'm doing it and I'm showing again, "Here's how I did. What do you think?" "Oh, excellent. Now do this and you should be fine." 5 years ago, that was not a thing.
The good is it does make things easier. You get information faster, makes things easier.
Yeah,
So are we becoming lazier? Or are we becoming smarter? Everything's so dependent on, and I also feel that dependency is a problem too, though. To what degree do you take the AI's information and recommendation and resources that was told to you and follow exactly versus your own gut and intuition? You know what I mean? We
Had too many
only know so much.
Yeah, I feel for me, I haven't really had too many situations where the AI told me something that I was like, "That sounds wrong." Well, maybe a couple times, but very few times. And when that happens, I always double down on asking it questions, obviously, because I'm not that much trustworthy as it comes. All right, well, what do you mean by that? That doesn't sound right. And they're like, "Oh, you're absolutely right. I made a mistake." But generally speaking, it's pretty spot on. I don't know your experience, but it
I
feels
don't know, mine's different. Mine's like sometimes where I am using it as resource of researching a question. And then whatever answer it gives me, but my gut and feeling is telling me something else to go different direction. What I do typically do is I deep dive into why it gave me an answer opposite of what I am feeling. And
mm,
then
that's
typically I am
interesting.
following my gut and intuition. And AI's degree of knowledge and expertise is fully dependent on the data and resources
Absolutely.
pulled through the web. So to what degree are they able to filter manipulation of data or where it came from that is truly trustworthy? Because again, the data is being created by someone, right?
Yeah.
So I always follow my gut and feelings versus something else too. I'm not saying there isn't truth to what they pull,
Oh,
but
that's
I don't
very
want to depend on the version of answers versus what I feel is right. So I think at the end of the day, if we had to do research on our own, we're gonna get the same information as they are, but the best fit
way
with
slower.
them is the faster, and they're
Yeah.
basically compiling the consortium of information sources from everywhere and throwing it at you.
Yeah.
I think for people, it's like that's the you gotta use it and think of it as an is a need for speed and a collection, but it should not be a do all, buy all, 100% dependent on the
Yeah.
answers. You gotta
Yeah.
follow your, intuition, whatnot as well. But I feel like we're going into a trend into our like society or this world that I don't know. We're gonna fall into this hole. We're gonna fall into a hole where maybe the newer generation, whatever, they're not gonna know what to do and how to function, how to do things without AI. I feel like it's gonna be a huge dependency on it.
I mean, I feel dependent even just on the internet, even just power. I remember a couple of days ago, the lights flickered, and then I thought to myself, "Oh wow, right. If power goes out and I have no internet, no power, my sphere of not influence, my sphere of life just got shrunk down to like a house and a phone call. You know what I mean? That feeling of dependency is so real. Man, I
Yeah.
couldn't even imagine what it would look like once you have robots in the house. You know, coming around, walking around, and cleaning for you, doing all this you know, the boring stuff that has to be done at the house all the time, and then you stop doing that, and then all of a sudden that power went away, lights are off.
But that's my question for you, Speros. For example, like robots come and do your day-to-day tasks, cleaning, laundry, whatever.
I'll
All
forget
the
how to do them.
not no, not even forget. What do you do with your time then? What are you doing with your time?
You gain more time. I mean, that could be a good
Yeah, but
thing
what do
if
you
you
do
have
with it though?
I'll tell you right
If
away.
everything's being taken over by robot,
Well,
what
let
do
me
you
tell
do
you,
with it?
I think so I think that becomes a very dangerous world for people that don't have purpose or
Well,
cannot
a lot
generate
of people
purpose for
don't have
themselves.
purpose though
I
from a
agree.
way where like we don't know our purpose, right? Not that
I
we
agree, I agree
don't have.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, and same I mean, same for me, but what I'm saying is that I think that's when the necessity of having purpose or being part of something that is purposeful becomes astronomically more important. So I don't feel as like a lost cause because it's, well,
Mm.
I had to take care of all this kind of stuff. I stayed busy. I went to work. I made money, etc. But I agree with you. If it's, I don't have to do 80, 90% of that stuff. So now my day is not 2, 3 hours of thinking about the future, but it's 8 hours of thinking about the future.
Like,
That
what do
can throw a
you
lot of
do,
people into
right?
depression, honestly, right?
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
at that point, it's like I feel like the whole point of living, maybe other people have different definitions, but the whole point of living is going through the ups and downs and doing
Yeah.
things for yourself. You're living on that. But if everything gets replaced, well, you don't have to do anything. And say I can fill out my day of, okay, I have extra time. I'm going to go paint pottery or whatever. I'm going to
Mhm.
go do some type of hobby.
Then you really run, then
It's
the,
like, what do you do in your day at the end
then
of
it's
the
just
day?
a means to an end. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's, I
right?
think, a
So
little
it's like
different.
I don't even know at this point how to think about AI other than the fact that the trend of AI is moving so fast because we have kind of figured out the whole artificial intelligence and able to use it to create more AI against AI. And that is
Yeah.
just moving so fast. I don't even know how to go about that. And then from a workplace, what are people supposed to do? What are the
Yeah.
jobs
The remaining jobs, right,
or
as
the
we get closer to the
skills?
I peak.
Yeah,
What
exactly. What are the jobs and skills people should retrain
Yeah,
themselves on?
yeah,
And could it
yeah,
be even if somebody figure out, oh, we should retrain ourselves on X, But then my question is, okay, could that X be replaced by AI a year from now then too?
Probably, yes,
You know
because
what I
once
mean? What
robots
do
come
we
around.
do now? Like, what do we
Absolutely.
do? Yeah.
Yeah. And I know we talked about this a lot where today a huge amount of demand is, generally speaking, on electricians and plumbers. I'm not sure about construction workers, but definitely electricians and plumbers, right? It requires time to learn it, it requires licenses. But once you are that, you can have your own business or you can just work for someone else and you make really good money. And it's AI proof, but it's not AI robot proof. So once the
Yeah.
robots come around, I think it's a whole new discussion of
You
like,
can you can literally use AI and train the robots
oh,
to
absolutely.
learn
Oh,
what it
and
is.
they'll be better. No, no, for sure. They'll be basically. I think the way you can think about it is, however good a Tesla car is at auto driving and having less accidents by itself, percentage wise, that's much better. It will be when you have a robot doing electrical work. Because first of all, even if the robot did something wrong, it's just a robot that goes down, not a person dying or getting really hurt.
Or
So
unless, like, the electrical work was done
is
completely
like
wrong.
holding the wire to the robot or it's an explosion or something crazy. Yeah. But generally speaking, like the safety level is so astronomically higher because robots generally don't make mistakes. Once we get to that world, I really do hope that that level of robot usage is a lot later to give us time to really think about what humans do. Because because once that happens, we're talking about a whole different world. At least today,
I know,
right
I feel
now,
like it'll be extremely boring. What do you do with your life? I do feel like we're lazy. Like, now self-driving, so we don't have to drive. It's easy. Yeah, you still have to pay attention, but what is next? You're gonna end up just not having to eat, and then somehow there's gonna be
yeah,
people feeding you, or like you
no,
just
for
take a
sure.
pill and then you're full.
Yeah,
To what
yeah, yeah,
point, you know?
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
at that situation, I mean, it's always better to have money than not. But I feel like the people that have money and passive income are going to benefit the most because they're like, oh, well, the robot can do everything for me. I'm going to go and just travel the world and do hobbies. And then, well, there comes the issue too, and start a business. But now, what business are you starting? Because everything is robot based. So maybe you
I
start a
mean, in
robot business.
reality, when people are talking about a virtual reality world using AI, where you don't have to fly or travel, you can just put it on and you're literally feeling like you're in another world. You're in
Yeah.
another country. I mean, like that, even that,
Yeah. Okay. Now we're getting into like,
even that is
can we agree that's like, it's at least like 30 years out, 50 years out? No?
before we all say the person that probably find a cure for cancer is like in kindergarten right now. You know what we're
Mhm.
not. But now with AI and everything in place, I don't know if we're making the kids these days smarter or we're making them more dependent and lazier to
Mhm.
learn some
Mhm.
things.
Mhm.
I don't know. Because
Yeah.
they know they can just grasp the information and figure things out by asking AI, right? Well, we're
And
gonna have
how
robots doing it.
and how good is that in development where before you had to kind of trial and error and learn from your mistakes, where now you're given the answer and you're given the highly most probable right answer right away. You become knowledge rich, but maybe you become experience poor.
Yeah, yeah,
So what
yeah,
does that mean for your future? Does that mean you're less resilient when things go not your way because you're so
yeah,
used to, hey, ChatGPT, what do I do here? And ChatGPT is like, you should do this. You're like, great. Where instead, us, I don't know, I'm going to throw a rock at that and see what happens. Like, I don't know, I'm going to ride my bike
yeah.
by it and see what happens. It definitely changes
I know. I was just
human
thinking,
behavior.
I mean, I was thinking about the future and the trend of AI last night and just trying to figure out what are we walking ourselves, took a pause and then think, what are we walking ourselves into? What do we as humans, like, where do we go next? What do we do next? So, yeah, like
I
it's
would, I
not,
would, I would hope the answer to that is we do the hobby, we do the thing we want. But again, like you said, a lot of people don't know what they want. They don't know the hobby and they don't have the purpose. I think again, I mean, always I think for every human in the history of humanity, purpose has always been, I think, the number one most important thing for a human is their purpose. It could be a purpose to their spouse, it can be a purpose to their kid, it can be a purpose to their growth and becoming rich, whatever. And
yeah,
it's easy for me to say what everybody would say in that scenario. Just do something, just try something. But when you're in those shoes and you're like, I just don't know. I mean, I even don't know to what extent what they do. I mean, I have
yeah,
some ideas, thankfully, but I don't truly know what's my calling. But
yeah.
then again, maybe nobody does. Maybe at the end of the day, you
That's
just
the thing. Like, I don't,
find
most people may not know what the
right.
purpose of calling is,
Yeah,
I'm I felt lost more than, I've figured things out, right, at the end of the day,
right.
so
But at
yeah,
least you have kids, right? Where it's like part of your purpose is to take care of these kids as
yeah, like,
best as
I
you
got
possibly
to make
can.
sure they
And
stay
you
alive.
do, clearly. Yeah, yeah. No, but you start taking away even basic things that you do around the house and
Yeah,
the
You
direction and the
basically, you're
target.
stripping away the experiences, whether
Yeah. The soul. You're
oh,
stripping
the
away your
good,
soul.
bad, whatever, you're
Yeah,
stripping it
yeah,
away,
yeah, yeah.
It's
And,
like, what do you do at that
yeah,
point?
I mean, that's where a lot of, like, depression can come in, honestly, right?
Yeah.
It's, I don't know what to do. And then, by the way, also, Ken, a lot of people expect to know what to do because so much of the media tells
Yeah,
us that we should know what to do. And
yeah,
we see so many like faces out there that are like happy and this is amazing. I'm doing this. When in reality, you saw a clip of them in that moment of a
yeah,
high and you think that's their life, where in reality, they are like everyone else. They have the high,
yeah.
they have the low, they
Yeah,
have
it's
the
very
valleys.
true. We live in like a society where we're being told, what you need to look like, or how you should live your life, what is success to you, fancy this, fancy that. And it's just not reality, not for
Yeah.
everyone. And not only
And
that, I think the other piece that's scary is there's no you can't even say, "No, I don't want AI in my life." There's no fighting against it.
no,
You
no, it's
have
like the
no
internet.
choice. It's going to come. It's already
Yeah.
here, and it just
You
will
have to adapt.
continue to grow and come, and you have to just kind of figure it out. But I think the goodness, like, we're not alone in this. I'm pretty sure more than less people are trying to figure it out and see what to do and how to work their life, whether it's fear or excitement, whatever it may be, when it comes down to coexisting with AI and how we can use it. But
I feel like you always try to do the best with what you have and you try to have time to reflect because yeah, for a lot of people the situation that they're in is very hard, but the best thing you do is reflect and then have resources around you can reach out to and get support. Like you said, there's so many people there in that scenario, and sometimes, honestly, not always but definitely sometimes you make it harder and worse than it actually is.
yeah, I think
We ourselves. Exactly. So, yeah, I have found that in life so many times where you think of your situation, no, I have this and this going on. And then there's such a weight on your mind. And then if you take a moment to think about it, well, what actually is that? And you kind of dissect it. It's usually not as bad as your mind makes it.
yeah,
But
interesting
yeah,
time.
AI, amazing. Robots, amazing. It will make a big impact. It's going to be an unknown world. I feel like AI is the predecessor. I mean, obviously, AI is the predecessor to change and impact to our daily lives at a very small scale to what the robots will be when they come out. Hopefully, they're years away. Elon says they're going to be a couple of years away. Maybe reality is like
I mean,
between
it's
the
already
two
happening in China.
at the commercial level, right? Not quite the residential level
Oh,
and
no, it's
consumer level.
available.
At the consumer
It's
level?
available for consumer. There's even robot dogs.
Okay.
There's tricks.
They're never going to
Now,
replace real
granted,
dogs.
they
I'm
don't look
sorry.
like the only thing right now because they are building. I saw they are building like ones that look really real, and that's still being worked on. But the ones that fully function truly look like robots. So that's a major difference. Is like you don't
Yeah.
feel the human components. Even the dog itself is like a robotic dog, right? That's
Yeah.
doing tricks or whatever. But yeah, it's just crazy, and we're not far from it. We truly are not far from it. There's a huge company or a museum, whatever it is, you can go into and you can actually feel a live robot. It feels like a real person because they've been working on replicating the human skin
Mhm,
and all
mhm,
that stuff.
mhm.
It's just crazy. I mean, I can only imagine one day. Who knows? Like one day, I may end up waking up and then I'll see 5 different robots that looks just like me walking around. And be like, "Well, I've always wanted twins, so here we go." Like,
Yeah,
who knows?
absolutely.
Yeah, it's crazy.